having a lot of conversations while we were there about because the pizza place we got, they do flights of pizzas, which for those of you who are not drinkers, a flight is essentially a tasting platter of alcohol that you
get
get
like 5 or 6 little
on a tiny tray
exactly.
usually.
Yeah, little
but
sips.
they do that for pizzas. So it's
that's kind of
fucking
fun.
great big pizza with 4 different flavors on, essentially.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
Really smart idea, really delicious pizza, genuinely was fantastic. And we were talking about spicy things and stuff like that. And BJ said, I hope the beaver nuggets aren't too spicy.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you if there is any indication on the package of beaver nuggets for what they are.
No.
Oil is written about 50,000 times on this package.
It's literally the most misdirected packaging of a product.
Okay. It's about the adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say, of the oil variety, we've got vegetable, canola, and/or corn.
All the C's.
Soybean, palm kernel.
That's like half of the food pyramid, right?
So I don't know
lots
how
of fiber in there. I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. Not great.
But dude, I love gross shit. If this is a sweet, sugary deliciousness of the South, then great. If it's a spicy thing, problems.
That's right.
Speaking of spicy things, that sriracha ramen that I had.
Yeah, it sounded like you had an adventure.
Was that awesome. I hadn't gagged so hard from something being spicy in a long time.
It smells like brown sugar.
All right,
it's not offensive.
We're starting off with a good note here. Getting hints of brown sugar.
There's a couple moments of blinking.
Just trust me, they can hear me chewing based on my audio file. Okay, so it's corn chips where it basically caked in brown sugar.
Great.
These are fucking delicious.
Uh-oh. Moon is lost for the rest of the episode.
I might have to head back down to Florida just to get beef nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Boo!
Write that down for a show.
Get him off the stage.
No, I had a good time. Like I said, it was mostly good and relaxing, and I'm not going to complain because I got to go on fucking shitloads of roller coasters, and I love fucking roller coasters.
Yeah. How can you go wrong?
The last time I went on roller coasters was 10 years ago, so yay.
Oh, man.
Last time my wife and I went on a roller coaster, it was at Michigan Adventure for Shivering Timbers, and it was a wooden roller coaster. That was not a good idea because we both felt horribly sick after that.
Yeah, wooden roller coasters are no joke, man.
They're either fucking incredible or fucking break you.
We did not realize that wooden roller coasters have the reputation of being extremely rough compared to just straight metal ones now.
Yeah.
And I had been on it. I think the last time I'd been on it before then was in high school. I was like, oh yeah, it was fine then. I loved it.
I was 13. What's up?
We go on there.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I think at the time we were maybe 27, 28, and we went down that roller coaster and we both had to sit in the shade for 15 minutes to record.
I'm just gonna lay on the cool ground for just 10 minutes. Just leave me here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Oh, but no, it was a good time.
Nice.
In the meantime, Verstappen won the Formula 1 World title again. Shock of shocks. Ferrari can't do shit. Liverpool lost to Arsenal, beat Man City today. I think that's pretty much everything on my side. If you guys will excuse me for 2 minutes, I'm just going to run the bathroom because I've drank a lot more fluids than I thought.
All right, good luck.
Louise, get away from the wheels. Louise.
Meow.
Get away from the wheels.
Never. Chaos.
You will never leave me again.
That's right. That's right.
She's trying.
Oh man. Speaking of finals and stuff, I live in San Diego, so it has been interesting having our baseball team doing well this season. They're in the finals,
Sure.
semifinals. I don't know. But I do know we have been playing against the Dodgers, which is like this kind of fun rivalry that's going on. And then every time the Cleveland baseball team is in the news lately because they're playing in finals as well, they're always like, yeah, the Cleveland Guardians. And I was like, who the fuck is... Oh, right. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, the Guardians. Yeah. And I haven't lived in Cleveland for, what, like 10 years now? Something like that. And they're just like, yeah, the Cleveland Guardians. I'm like, what? Who the fuck? Oh, okay, yeah. The AAA team? No. Okay, yeah. All right. Totally forgot that happened.
I don't follow sports. I think the last time I heard anyone talk about sports around here was when the Red Wings were still winning the Cup.
Oh, okay.
And that's, from my understanding, been a good while since that's happened.
It's been a little bit of time, yeah.
It used to be, what was it, the Pistons and the Red Wings were always doing good. No one ever talks about the Lions.
Well, what was the other thing I saw the other day? The Mariners game went into like super overtime. When I looked, it was like, it's the bottom of the 17 and it's 0-0. And I was like, what the
Jesus.
fuck?
Yeah.
just call it and try again tomorrow.
See, that's why I like F1. You have 3 hours. You either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
Dude, now you have 3 hours.
Right.
Previously, it was like, it ends when it ends.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like you mentioned the Red Wings, I was like, oh, are you talking about my baseball team? Because they're down the road from where I am.
Nice.
There are enough fucking names, apparently, to go around.
Wow.
I do like the garbage team who have the raccoon as their logo in the minor leagues. It's always fucking
That's
wonderful.
great.
It's the something trash pandas, I think it's called.
Nice.
No notes. 2 thumbs up.
And it's like, okay.
Oh man.
The Rocket City Trash Pandas.
So Rocket City Trash Pandas. I love it.
And their logo is a raccoon in a rocket, which is shaped like a garbage can. It's fucking quality.
I love it. All right, are you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, and of course,
about as ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
My neighbor's decided to work on his diesel engine right when we're about to get started. Yeah.
Don't worry too much about that. I've been listening to Boston's Crows for about an hour now.
I know, it's so nice here. It's only like 70 degrees with like no humidity, so I figured I would open the window and the birds love my roof. No Siri, I'm not talking to you.
That's the good thing about working from a basement is I don't have to worry about no damn stinking birds.
It's true.
Just a lot of spiders.
Well, yeah. They're working from home too, man. Everyone's just trying to get by.
Yeah,
all right.
They've got access to the web as well.
Oh, God. Welcome back.
That's why you can't go on vacation.
That's right.
Did you miss me?
Oh, man.
Oh, I got to get them all in now. I missed an episode.
That's right.
Fucking asshole.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
I'm back, baby.
And the Nymph.
Hello. Did you just wave at the camera a moment ago?
Sure, why not? Yeah, say hi to the people on the internet. Hello. We'll say hi to you, the patrons, over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numbers. Nymph doesn't have to worry about it this week.
That's right. He's free.
Don't ever worry about it.
That's true. You can get all the exclusive early access, all the good stuff, all the fun extra audio over there. We had Moon was regaling us with his stories of his vacation and the many sights and sounds over there in the Outcast, which is our uncensored exclusive audio we put up every week, where we pretty much talk about all the non-video game stuff, what's going on in our lives, what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're listening to, things like that.
Florida, what's that like?
Yeah.
Hot is the answer.
That's right. Florida, the unexplored swamp. Listen more in the Outcast. And catch all that over there. You get early access to We Roguelike It, the show where Moon and I are just torturing ourselves with even more roguelikes that are coming out at a breakneck pace. I'm torturing Moon with roguelikes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. And you get 2-month early access to Critical Misses. Moon and I are going through all the media hits we've missed. You can get all of that patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are numbers. I was actually recently inspired and started re-listening to the Alien season we did for Critical Misses. Because I'm trying to think in my head of the best Boston reveal moments, and the Alien series has definitely got one of them in there.
Yeah, like if you haven't listened to those episodes, about 3/4 through the first Alien movie, I make a surprising discovery that somehow I had not heard of in my 40 years on this planet. So you should really go listen to. You should really go listen to that. It's a real good one. And also we have if you're listening to the audio version of this, there's a brand new episode of our game club out, where we talk about The Room, the game, the mobile one, not the movie. That's a different show. We talk about that for a little bit. And our next game will be Immortality, Sam Barlow's Immortality on Game Pass. So join us playing through another FMV game. It's been a while. All right, Moon, what have you been playing these last 2 weeks?
Not a lot, shockingly enough. When someone goes on vacation, they've got too much other stuff they need to take care of.
Right.
Which was the only reason why I was able to do The Room was because it was available on mobile platforms.
Right.
Well, okay, so let's start with Hardspace Shipbreakers. This was the game I played mostly before I went on vacation. I unlocked the tethers, which are cool as hell. They do exactly what you think they do, which is they tether one object to a different object. Limp, have you played any more of this since 2 weeks ago?
I have not, no. But I did get the tethers last time I did play, so...
It's really cool. And as you're taking care of more and more ships, they increase your ranking, your quote-unquote ranking. And it gains you access to bigger and different ships.
Right.
And
did you get to the biggest ones yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Some of the stuff I'm getting is pretty big.
They get scary big after a little bit.
So the real scary part for me is as you increase in your ranking, they start increasing the hazards you are exposed to.
Oh no.
So let's have a quick conversation about explosive decompression.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So be careful, is what I will say. Very much in the way that I view these as reverse 3D puzzle games. When you find a ship, when you get given a ship that has atmosphere still on the inside, you have to go through the airlock sequence, get into the ship, and find out how to basically get rid of the atmosphere inside the ship.
Right.
In order to let it all out in a natural way, rather than, I don't know, accidentally cut a hole in the side of one of them.
I was going to say, or you just do it the fast way and you don't stand in front of the hole that you're making.
Right.
Or float,
That's
whatever.
option B. But the only problem with that is the force of the decompression can send that ship anywhere.
Oh, I know.
Because I accidentally had the back end of one of my ships go into the furnace by doing it that way, and it was like, oh, well, this is supposed to go in this is supposed to go in this. You've just lost like half of the ship into the furnace.
You just see that red bar ticking way faster than it should be.
It's a little bit scary because you'll just like... Some parts you have to explosively decompress. There is no like airlock sequence or where you can get rid of the atmosphere inside of it. But ideally, you want those spaces as small as possible so that when you do make the opening, it's a relatively, easy open kind of situation. Sometimes it's not. So the way some of the ships are designed, they've got a body and then 2 engine capsules down the side.
Mm-hmm.
And the engine sections also have atmosphere, which is not connected to the main body of the ship. So you can get rid of all of the atmosphere in the ship, but that doesn't affect the body, the engine pods on the side.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, I'm just going to do what I always do with these engines and just pop this cap off the end and then go on the inside and then start, deconstructing it from inside. I pop the cap off the end, then all the atmosphere shoots out, and then this engine suddenly starts rocketing forwards towards my home base. And I'm like, well, great. Thanks for that.
Try tethering the back of the ship to the back of the station.
I'm starting doing that now, obviously, now that I have my tethers.
Now that you have learned what horrors await you.
It's bad. In some cases, because sometimes it will do that, and then it will send something that's not nailed down inside the ship flying through the ship, rattling around like crazy. Those magnet gloves come in real handy. But it'll send something flying around, and then before you know it, whatever you've got that's flying around hits a fuel tank. The fuel tank explodes, and then an entire section of the ship you're working on just gets obliterated.
And then we're back to explosive decompression.
Right.
Get rid of the decompression. Now it's just explosive. It's a little bit silly sometimes, but it's fun. Like I said, it's like a reverse 3D puzzle game where I'm just deconstructing this puzzle that somebody else put together. Some of my cutter isn't upgraded yet. I'm trying to figure out how to do that still. So I'm at some of the ships I've got access to are like, oh, if you want to do this the easy way, just use your level 3 cutter and then you can cut this panel out and go inside. I've only got a level 1 cutter.
Right.
So the way I have to do it is I have to go to the backside of this pod that I'm working on, pop it open, deal with the decompression. That's double D's for those who are wondering. And then inside you've got an engine fuel mount connected with fuel pipes to a fuel container in the back of the pod. But none of the space is big enough for you to fit down there and start taking it apart bit by bit. So it becomes this mad dash of, okay, so I'm going to tether the inner part of the engine to the back of the bay that I'm working in. Very quickly cut these 4 fuel lines, which sets them on fire. And then the fire starts working its way backwards towards the fuel pod where the fuel shutoff switch is too.
Oh, okay.
So then you have to cut this thing out, yank it out as fast as you can, then fly as quickly as you can towards the danger.
Oh, boy.
And then hit that fuel shutoff valve to stop the thing from blowing up in your face. It's a really cool game, and the story is holding me pretty solidly so far. I like the random yeehaws all having a chit chat. The one guy who can't get his radio to work is hilarious to me. And they also do the "Have you tried turning it off and then on again" thing. Great. Guess what? Most of the time it works.
Or hitting it really hard.
That's right.
I just got to the point in the story where there is currently an inspector visiting the station because apparently there's been some quote-unquote union talk and they need to snuff that out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ouch, my 2022.
Yeah, so that's fun, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen. I did get a teddy bear, though, which is now sitting in front of my computer. So,
you should be good not to join the union now because they gave you a teddy bear. Everything's good.
Which you probably had to pay for once you read the fine print.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't give me a teddy bear. I stole it from one of the ships I was salvaging.
Oh,
okay.
Better.
It was floating in space. I had to grab it.
Right.
I've got 5 kids to feed. I just realized that's a reference that Boston might not get.
Nope.
I hate you so much, man.
Hey, why do you think we're doing critical misses?
Well, Hardspace it's a really good game for my brain right now, where it's just I can forget about everything else. I can forget about 2022 and 2021 and 2020 as a whole.
And 2023.
and just like get in there and do that kind of stuff. It's a cool game, and I like the fact that it's like, hey, this is where we're heading if you don't stop people like Elon Musk, just so you know.
Right.
But it's fun. Let's see. Saints Row. I played a bit more Saints Row, not a whole lot. I'm mostly doing open world stuff right now because we need to do open world stuff to progress the story a little bit. I did a whole bunch of the storyline that's based in the LARPing thing.
Oh yeah.
Which was hilarious. I summoned a desert worm, which is exactly as stupid as you probably like picture it in your head.
I love it.
I started doing a bunch more of the random stuff, like the little random side quests you get. One of them is a delivery mission where you basically get given goods, we'll say, and you have to deliver those goods over to a destination, and you'll get a random person talking to you while you're doing the mission. It's like, yeah, forget about this 5-minute delivery, forget about this other, next day delivery, everything else. I am all about instant delivery.
Okay.
So it's like, it's delivery right now is what they're talking about. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to deliver this right now, maybe? I don't know. They told me to hit that big-ass ramp.
Yeah. Do it, 50.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They 100% know exactly what they're doing, and it's, again, gameplay is whatever. There are bugs galore. I finished all of the insurance missions, so throw myself in front of traffic stuff.
Yep.
Now I can just do it wherever I want, by the way.
It's the best reward.
Mm-hmm. So I'm working my way through all of the side missions to basically just work on minor spoiler alert, I have hard drive issues still. Shocker, I know, it's me. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have ever seen this coming?
So I need to get some of these big games off my hard drive, so I need to work on them. Plus, it helps that they're 2022 games. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's Saints Row. It's stupid in all the right ways. It's funny in all the right ways. It doesn't control great, but that's fine because Saints Row never controlled great. Don't come at me. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Okay, what else? Let's Build a Zoo. That came out on Game Pass.
I played that a little bit.
Me too. How far did you get, Boston?
Probably like a hot 20 minutes into it.
Okay, I really like this game.
I do too. It makes it's a very impressive initial impression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a small, tiny little zoo. It's like, oh, build a habitat. You can use these 4 different kinds of habitats for different animals. Build a research station. Use the research points to unlock new things to make your zoo better, different, whatever.
Yep.
It has a morality system.
Maybe I didn't get that far into it. Okay.
Because a sketchy-looking dude in a big hat asked me if he could buy 2 of my snakes.
Uh-huh.
As apparently they are rare. So I told him, no, get off my zoo, and turned him into the police.
There you go.
And then I got positive morality points from this.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need is Paragon.
That's right. Not ashamed of your words and deeds.
There is an achievement in this game for getting a protester to show up. By the by.
Okay.
But it's fun so far, and minor spoilers, Boston. But this might be the hook to get you to keep and continue playing it. By default, all of your pens are set to just breed. So if you have a male and a female of a species, next thing you know, you've got 56 rabbits and you don't know what to do with them.
Sure.
I'm not even kidding. I literally had too many rabbits for the enclosure I had them in.
Where's that guy with the big hat when you need him?
No, I donated a bunch of rabbits because if you select specific animals at the very bottom of the screen on the right-hand side, it's like, oh, donate or euthanize.
Oh no.
Oh.
I donated a bunch of rabbits to various causes. I'm sure magicians around the country are happy.
That's right.
But I'm not going to euthanize. I don't want to euthanize these poor little animals. But so I had 2 white rabbits, and then when they breed, they have a 50% chance of having a white rabbit and a 50% chance of having a different color rabbit, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Then that rabbit can mate with a white rabbit, and then that has a 25% white, 25% whatever it is, and then 50% of something else.
Mendel's spirit
sounds
lives
like-
on.
So this sounds like
Yes.
chocobo breeding all over again.
100% exactly what it
You
is.
get your golden rabbit.
Uh-huh.
If Square was
Because-
smart, they would have done like a chocobo ranching game like this, like a management game. Yeah.
You know that's in the back wings somewhere. They just don't. They're just waiting for that one financial down
This
period
one-
to be like,
this-
hey, there's this.
This one guy is always like, "Hey man, we're coming out with the second part of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, Chocobo Ranch is in this one. You guys ready to do it?" And they're like, "Shut up, Phil. God, we're not doing Chocobo Ranch management game. Just stop. You've been working here for 25 years."
When you're looking at it, it's got like, here is the color of rabbits you have. Here is the things the types it can create, and then you've got like 2 rows of question marks of the different kinds of animals you can get. So I got a breeding station where you take animals out of the display, you put them into the breeding thing, and then you specifically have them breed for the aim of having different species and variations of the same animal.
For the reason of catching them all.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm about to take it one step more interesting.
Oh no.
Do you have them fight?
Don't have them fight.
That's the DLC.
You just open all the pens and it's just chaos in the zoo.
Oh man.
It's not Marcus Decimus Bunnius, he's not,
Thumbs up the thumbs down, man.
At least you got that one. Thank you. So if you manage to unlock all of these things, and I just unlocked the new thing, it's a gene splicer.
Oh, sure, naturally, yeah.
So, do you want a Slothy, which is a sloth crossbreeded with a bunny?
Great. Yes, I would like to see that nightmare.
Or a Snake, which is a giraffe mixed with a snake?
Okay, actually, I want to see that one very badly. Yes.
So, once you've unlocked the DNA sequence for the animals by having them breed and have all of these different variations, you can put them in this gene splicing place and start creating monsters.
I feel like that's how xenomorphs happen, but maybe that's another DLC.
Or Jurassic Park, or
Right.
sci-fi
Park
movie
all
where you
over
play
again.
God. Yeah.
So I'm really excited to get into the monster process of making things that are going to overrun the earth, basically.
Make an invisible blood-sucking bunny rabbit.
Right. I don't know. This game is interesting. I'm glad it's on Game Pass. I'm glad it's doing really well because from a first impression standpoint, it's this is like a management game.
Cute and simple.
Yeah, and you're running a zoo and everything's pretty cute, and then you unlock the gene splicer, and then it's all right, you guys have a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm. And you can do trades with the zoos.
Right.
So there's other zoos will be like, "Oh, I need a snake, and in return, I'll give you an eagle."
Oh, hell yeah. Well, and there's also a skill tree of here's what you're unlocking of your, it's like a giant sphere grid of I'm unlocked a bench, now you can unlock a thing, and you get these kind of larger skills where it's you want to unlock a subway, start heading up this way.
You want to buy a bunch more buses. It's really cool so far. It reminds me of the game about making video games.
Game Dev Story.
Thank you. It reminds me of things like that where its premise, it seems very simple.
Yeah.
And then you start getting into that and there's so much more depth just waiting for you to uncover beneath the surface or in the DNA, as the case may be.
That's right.
It's a little bit ridiculous how much fun it is. And the music's cool. I think honestly, I think the UI needs a little bit of work. Like it feels like a mobile or PC game.
Yeah, for consoles, everything is a little bit off. Like it's not uncontrollable. Like you can still play it, but everything's a little bit kind of
like
weird.
It seems a little too small, or everything is all symbols based, and it's like,
yep.
I don't know what the fire hydrant symbol means.
Yeah, like I can't hover my mouse over it to get the tooltip. Like that's not a thing I can do.
Yeah, and what's this like asteroid impact symbol I see? I don't know what that does either. It doesn't summon Bowser, unfortunately.
A bummer.
But no, let's build it. It's on Game Pass. Give her a shot.
It's
like
cool.
I like how cute everything is, and it's pixel arty, but it's distinctive enough pixel art where you can see like, oh well, that's a grass snake. That's a grass snake. That's a rattlesnake that they've just given birth to. I don't know how, but okay, sure, whatever.
Who am I to question science?
And I'm pretty sure I just got a cobra, and it's like cool. I can tell what they are just by looking at the top layer. Like
that's cool.
Looks of them. And I just need to. I honestly need to set my bunny pen to just be a. Put everyone on birth control, because you can just do that by pen. So you can like select a pen and be like, "Yep, birth control. Every single one of these, please." I don't.
I need you guys to
stay a neuter pen.
That's right. I need you to take a break here.
Because spoiler, bunnies are going to act like bunnies.
That's right.
My final game is the game I'm currently working on at the moment. It's Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This game is great. I've already talked about how much I love this game. Like, this game it's revolutionary compared to what some of the previous Lego games are like.
It really is.
I'm at that point now where I'm about to start popping achievements again. And if you don't know what that means because you're not too sure about Lego games, what that basically means is I've done the first part of the game where you get a bunch of achievements.
You're like first half of the achievements.
Yeah, then I think I literally have 575 out of 1,000 gamer score. So that should tell you. Now, then I did the 60 hours in the middle.
Right.
Of nonstop grinding.
The work.
Where you do all of the submissions and the puzzles and everything else. And now I'm at that last like 5 to 10 hour stretch where I've got like 2 planets left to go, maybe even 1 at this point. But that 1 planet completion will allow me to then complete a bunch of missions on other planets, which will then start popping those zone achievements.
Get you the last 50 characters.
Exactly. And then at that point, all I need to do is go through and do all of the story missions on free play, because I haven't even done that yet. I wanted to save something easy for the end.
Well, it'd be fun to go back to all that stuff and be like, oh yeah, we'll knock out a couple of these things.
Yeah, I mean, the game's got 1,200 kyber crystals, I think it is.
It's something way up there, yeah.
My count is currently 979.
All right, getting close.
Too much. It's too much.
A lot of them are really easy to get, actually.
Yeah, it's too much for me. It's too much for you. But it's a game specifically aimed towards kids. If you want a game that you can buy a kid and then not have to buy them anything for 2 years, get this or Lego Batman 3, apparently. That's the one to get.
That's more of a punishment than anything else.
It's ridiculous.
But no, it's great. I love it. Also, I did just... Again, the references are just getting dropped all of the time. And I do adore the fact that R2KT is in this game. For those of you who don't know, that's the pink R2D2 unit that the 501st created after one of the founding members' daughter died of cancer. So R2KT is the R2D2 with pink hue instead of blue. So she's in the game too, and it's fantastic. Like, I love the references and the deep cuts to everything.
Right.
And again, Lego games have probably got the best physical humor of any video game series that I've ever played.
Yeah, easily.
It's just way too good. Like, yes, I do want to watch Jar Jar wrap his tongue in an umbrella and then go spinning around 60,000 times in the background.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
Because it's Jar Jar. I hate Jar Jar. It's fun.
Jar Jar.
It's great. I love this. This is a 2022 game, and expect to see this thing on my top 10. I don't know where, but expect to see it there.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic. That's all I've been playing. Take me away from the madness.
Well, you were not the only one grinding for achievement/trophies either.
Oh.
Because I played No Man's Sky.
I played some of that this week too.
I played a lot of No Man's Sky.
I had you pimping this, boss.
Yeah. So 4.0 came out with all the accessibilities. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
I was like, all right, cool. I'm missing like, I think at the time I was missing 4 or 5 trophies, and they were just like the, stay on an extreme planet for however long.
Which thankfully they just fixed.
Yeah. I had one where I had to travel the exploration one. You had to warp. I think it was 75 times.
Yeah.
Mine glitched on my main game, and I'll get into that later. And then the zoology one, which turned out to be a lot easier once I stopped trying to go after planets that had more than 6
one
things on it. Yeah.
Right. It'd be like, there's 13. It's like, all right, let's go.
It also helps too that they now have the thing on there where it tells you, okay, this is a common, uncommon, or rare. This is where you can find it. It's flying, it's on the ground, it's underwater, or it's underground. And apparently they have extinct ones too, because on my main home base that I've had since I started playing this game, all the animals that I scanned on my home planet are all extinct now.
Oh, jeez.
And they don't count towards, scanning a planet. There's now all these new species that I would have to scan on that planet now to get them. So it doesn't do anything for you except for now I have my completed extinction list for my planet, apparently.
That's wild.
So I jumped back in there to grab all these extra trophies.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked, man. I turned on a bunch.
Got the super hard achievement, right?
Oh yeah, the permadeath thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I got it just before you did.
Yeah, I think you guys were neck and neck for a while, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got the super hard ones out of the way on both versions, which I will get into that as well. So she's like, all right, let me just do something. I just want this all toned down. I want it simple, and I just want to get it done. So then I turned on a bunch of the accessibility options just to test them out.
I'll talk about it in a minute, but I started a brand new game to see the new experience, and I turned all those on. And I was like, yeah unlimited power.
Pretty much what I did. I had to start a new... No, not yet.
Yeah, Lego No Man's Sky.
I had to start a new file because, like I said, my exploration trophy didn't pop. For some reason, that was glitched out. So I was like, all right, I got to start a new one anyway. Let's get this going. So I started a new one, turned on all the accessibility options.
Yep.
There was a lot of confusion online if trophies still pop while playing with accessibility options on. They do.
Nice.
So you can pretty much turn on God mode and just complete what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is what I did. I had the God mode on. I turned it off so that way I didn't have to actually craft. You just show up on the screen where it's like, hey, you need this item, and you just click it and it just automatically installs it.
Oh, cool.
Which sped up the new game process by a ton. Because I didn't have to go foraging for materials to get my ship off the ground, so that way I could get the hyperdrive, so that way I could start warping between systems. The biggest one that sucked the most was just the survivalist one, being on the extreme planets.
Yep.
Because that takes at least 8 real life hours of just getting this. And not all planets are extreme. Some of them just have like the extreme weather cycle where for 15 minutes like an extreme storm will come in and then it starts ticking up your points. But then that cell goes away and it's just back to normal.
Yeah, the way they fixed this recently, which is like a little bit better, is before you would have to stay on that same planet for that X number of hours.
Yeah.
And now it's cumulative. So if you spend 15 minutes on this planet, you spend 30 minutes on another planet, you have 45 minutes towards that trophy, and you can kind of keep building that up as you're exploring, which is sort of the way all of these trophies are supposed to work. Like it's supposed to be like 75 warps and 100 new words learned, and you're supposed to be building this up as you explore, and that one was always the outlier.
Yeah. The one issue that they still have so far is that if you have one of the pets, and you go to ride on your pet, your counter stops counting. And you have to leave the planet and come back to the planet for your counter to re-engage for some reason.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I think my son, because I was helping my son out too, I think he figured out that if you go inside of if you have like a built base or anything like that, I think he said if you go inside of there, he noticed that his counter didn't start counting again either when he went back outside. So he had to leave and then come back again.
Sure. I mean, all these patches for No Man's Sky they come in a little bit hot, and they've like very quickly patched them over like the next week or two. So that might even already be fixed, but that sounds like a No Man's Sky bug.
But I mean, it's not a big deal because you're not losing progress or anything.
Yeah.
I will also say too, if you need to get that achievement or trophy, because this is cross play and all that fun stuff, I have a planet on my home that's toxic enough and extreme enough that I just stayed there and didn't move.
Nice.
Like I just had my PlayStation on in the background while I was doing other things. While you're in co-op too, when you're in single player, your counter does not go up if you go into your menu and look at it. It stops. And then once you go back into the game, it continues because you have it paused. While playing in co-op, however, because you're not in your own instance, it doesn't pause the game when you pause it. So you can go into your menu and look at your counter go up. So I pretty much had my TV sitting on that counter so that way I could watch it tick up. And that's how I know that from Friday afternoon until Sunday morning, or Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, was when I finally got that stupid trophy. And then I had to shut off like a bunch of stupid other things, like, power saving mode on my PlayStation. It's like, oh, you haven't touched the controller in a while, so we just went into sleep mode. And my TV going into sleep mode and shutting off the PlayStation. And
stop! You're giving me PTSD for Dead Rising.
No, that's right.
Survivor.
Oh, there's all kinds of fun, dumb stuff. But anyway, so now that we have all these accessibility options, my daughter has always been interested in playing this, and we have always played with her, but it's always been in creative mode, and that can get a little dull, just having everything being handed to you, basically. So we had her start a new game Saturday morning, and it drops her on the planet. It's the same setup where it's like you're on a crap planet. You need to find your ship before you die. So
what's really interesting is, as you mentioned, that the planet I started on for my brand new game was not killing me, which I thought was really interesting.
You're not getting the real experience anyway.
Well, that's what I was surprised about, is like that has typically been the thing that starts No Man's Sky. And it's like always the thing that we've always been recommending No Man's Sky. It's like, you should really play this, but be careful at your starting world. It's going to kill you. And I really liked the game I started, at the very least, was just like, no, man, like, you take your time. Don't worry.
I wonder if they went back and randomized it, like fully randomized it.
That would be nice.
It seemed at the very, very start of this game, when everybody was hating on it, it used to just be completely random where you went. And then there was a time where it seemed like anytime you started a new game, you were just always on an extreme planet.
Yeah, it was going to kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they eventually.
The permadeath mode was a nightmare for that, because it was like, I just need one that's
just rolling the dice.
That was always the stipulation with permadeath, is like, you just need to get past this one section, and then it's easy to get to the center of the galaxy, kind of thing. And then they slowly added more sodium plants to the extreme world, so that way it didn't outright kill you, but there was still, a little bit of a hurry trying to find your ship. And now we have accessibility mode, which as soon as my daughter jumped in, paused her game, went into the options, basically flipped on that she doesn't take any damage from environmentals. She doesn't have to worry about any of like her life support running out or any of the survivalist stuff. Which the best part is, once you turn those two on, like your life bar and your shields, those bars just completely disappear from your HUD because you don't have to worry about them, so you don't have to see them. We also customized it so that way your ship or her ship doesn't need any fuel when it takes off. Which you can change that to, it doesn't need any fuel, it needs minimal fuel, it needs the standard, or it needs extreme. So you can make this as easy or as difficult as you want this game to be.
Yeah, when I started my game, I actually didn't start a new game, I went to the custom mode, which it popped up that grid of difficulty stuff to start with. You set all that stuff and then you start a new game. And I was checking out all the kind of extreme level difficulty stuff, and a lot of stuff in there seems pretty mean if you want to start a new game and have it be really tough.
Oh yeah, if you want this game to kick you in the teeth as soon as you turn it on, the option's there.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why Nim is playing it.
There you go.
Yeah. So then we continued on from our ship to like the crafting options, where it's like you can choose, like I had said earlier, you can either have it so that you need way more materials than you normally would, keep it standard, or you can just make it so you don't need to craft at all. She wanted to be able to craft still, so I left that alone. And then we made it. Then you can change basically like the marketing, where it's like, okay, price wise,
right?
You can basically get it where you don't pay for anything. You can keep the standard, payment amount, or you can make it where everything is stupid expensive.
And the option that I thought was really interesting is you can tell the game whether or not you want to discover the blueprints or if you want to have them all unlocked immediately. And I think that option too was like you could flip between these two and you can lock out or discover things as you kind of want to, which I thought was smart.
Yep. And then the only other thing is like building reputation. You can change it where, you can make it more difficult for you to earn reputation, keep it at standard, or you can make it where you're just constantly popping reputation anytime you talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And then like the hyper jump, where it used to be, and it still is if you want it, where you had to have certain upgrades on your engine to be able to jump to different colored stars.
You get the red engine, and then you can go to red.
Yep.
Red stars. Yeah.
Now you can make it so that way you can just hyper jump to any star. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we went through and played with the options for her. That way she can get in. That way she's not overwhelmed with everything, but she can still do the crafting in the building that she likes to do. And we just kept, the crafting in the building standard, and the rest of it, like I was telling her, you can even shut off like the enemies, where it's like there's the sentinels will leave you alone. There's no foot combat. There's no space combat. And the animals, we don't have any predators. So they're all just like docile.
Yep.
So basically she can walk around and not take damage or do anything. And she can just build and craft and, tear things apart however she wants to do it. And so we were helping her out with that.
Nice.
Since I had gotten the platinum on the PS5 version, I was like, well, let me install the PS4 version because I can double stack platinums on this.
Yeah, there you go.
And then jump into her game, and let's turn on all the easy accessibility modes for right now.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This does not impact the permadeath modes. So
correct.
When you go into the screen to start a new game, you still have normal, what they call relaxed mode now, the customized mode that you were talking about, the community mode, which gets you into the community events that they're running.
Yep.
And then there's like a whole other window, like there's like 3 other things that you can choose on the right side.
Like survival, permadeath, and something else.
So permadeath, you cannot have any of the accessibility options on. It's automatically disabled. So for those of you people on the internet crying, it's like, oh, they made the game too easy. Shut up. Permadeath is still there and it still works just fine.
That's right.
But yeah, so I find it really enjoyable. I like the fact that you basically like you can really fine tune how you want the game to play for your style.
Yep.
So if you have issues where you're not, quick on the draw, or, you just want an easy experience, or you just don't want to deal with certain factors in the game, you can mess with it and curtail it to the way that you want to play it, make it more accessible for you. Or like I said, with my kids, because now my daughter really enjoys screwing around, flying her ship into the planet and, doing all kinds of weird random things. And she doesn't have to worry about the things that she doesn't want to worry about. And eventually, if she decides that, oh, yeah, she wants to be the terror of the galaxy and start fighting space pirates, she can turn that on if she wants to at any time.
Yeah, turn that one setting on to wherever she wants it to be. Yeah.
Yep. You can adjust these at any time. So if you feel like, oh, this, I've either made this too hard or made this too easy, you can go back into the options and you can change it at any point in time. It doesn't impact anything except for that option. So.
And I think the thing that made me really happy when I started this new game, because that's what we were talking about last week, is like, I want to see what the brand new game experience is, because that has historically been kind of crummy, as we talked about, like with the planet that's killing and all that stuff. When I started my custom game, I set most of the difficulty settings to be kind of easier. I turned off all the combat because like I just didn't want to mess with it while I was doing this experiment. The thing that I really liked is it landed me on a planet. Right in front of me was a base computer already built and like ready for me to claim a base. Right behind me was a ship that was fueled up, had all the stuff fixed, and was ready to go and ready for me to get off planet.
Man, you got like the pampered service, because
I
my
did,
daughter
and
and I
like,
did not get that at all.
and I wonder if that's because I went into the like custom game mode at the beginning.
Maybe.
But
because we did relaxed for her.
oh, okay. And the only thing it had me do was repair the visor and the scanner.
Okay,
and
yeah.
once I did both of those, it's like, all right, man, there you go. It's like, yes, that's like the experience that I wish people could have in No Man's Sky, of just like, look, if you want a harder difficulty, like go play survival, go play permadeath, or go play maybe just the normal mode and kind of get the thing. But like, it's really nice to see that there's a mode where it's just like, you want to go explore space, here's all of the tools, you're not trapped on this planet, like explore if you want, whatever, but go do the cool things you want to do in space.
Yep.
So I appreciate that.
But yeah, it's on Game Pass as well, which is how my daughter's playing it on Xbox. Like I said, it's cross-play. I don't think it's cross-save though, but it's definitely cross-play.
I don't believe it's cross-save, but it is cross-play, yeah.
Yeah, so if you want an easy 1,000, by easy I mean it's mostly in real life time sync than it being difficult in game.
Right.
And if you need help with that planet, because like I said, one of my home planets in my home system is toxic 24/7 or 2776. So,
that's right.
Yeah. So if you just need a world and you're tired of trying to search one that's constantly ticking up that survivalist thing, let me know. You can jump into my game, you can jump onto that planet, and you can automatically jump to it in your own game without me being online.
Right.
So
yeah. To the same end as well, if you want the permadeath achievement, let me know. I literally have a base right there.
The only thing is you have to get off that first planet. As soon as you do that, then you can warp to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yep. And I can help you with that one. Nice and easy.
Yeah, you have to put in the starting. You have to build the base before we help you build the rest of it. So.
Yeah.
The first taste is not free.
That's right.
The last taste is free.
Right.
But I really like what they've done with this game.
Yeah.
And I think they did a pretty decent job of coming back from being the most hated game / company.
Yeah.
So what is it about like sci-fi spacey games that are supported this well? Because I can only think of one example that's not that kind of theme, and that's Dead by Daylight. Like, I think that has been supported well. They just did another huge update with the Halloween event, which I'm dreading getting back into.
Right.
But you got this. You got Elite Dangerous.
Yep.
And you got Warframe, which are all three relatively small studios who made something impressive and then built on it and built on it and built on it until it just became insanely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's just because they're all those three in particular are just different enough from what you see come out, month to month, year to year.
Yeah.
Because like Elite Dangerous is extremely technical. That is not something that you can just jump in and take off and explore the game. You have to
start playing it. Yeah,
you have to learn the controls. Like we've talked about several times, Moon and I were just before all the YouTube videos came out, and even when the YouTube videos came out, usually about the time they came out, they were already out of date and didn't apply anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then No Man's Sky was kind of the opposite of that, where, you had this whole galaxy to explore, but that was kind of the background to, okay, now you can build a base, which is the thing a lot of Elite Dangerous people wanted to do, but can't do. And you could walk around, and then they gave you, like the fleet carriers and crap. So, I mean, and then with Warframe, that was just Space Ninjas. I mean, unless you thoroughly screw up the design, you can't go wrong with Space Ninjas.
That's true. That's a good point.
Every time we talk about Warframe, though, I have that little voice in the back of my head. It's like, you should reboot Warframe.
Just install it again.
just to see where it's at.
That's right. I'm a Game Pass Ultimate member. I've got like 7 Prime outfits waiting for me to jump back in.
That's right.
So I'm just saying.
That's the problem. I can't. It's just No,
You can't do it to yourself.
No. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it's also made me kind of rethink, like with like Cyberpunk. So recently everyone's been talking, it's like, oh, the anime is really great and the game has come a long way since release.
Right.
I don't know, because the last time I played it, they finally fixed the bug that prevented me from beating the game. So I was able to go back in and beat the game, and it was still broken then.
Right.
And it's kind of made me think about going back into Cyberpunk and check that out to see if they fixed that or not.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of raw about that whole thing a little bit.
Understandably.
But I wasn't this way with like No Man's Sky though, because my expectations weren't as high, even though they were. I mean, you can argue that they were ramping it up about the same way that Cyberpunk was, that CD Projekt Red was with Cyberpunk. For some reason, with No Man's Sky, I didn't ramp it up. You know, I didn't keep up with the hype like everyone else did.
Yeah,
and when it eventually came out, I got it for like $9 because everyone was already hating it. And I think, I think it was like $20 for 2 copies, one for me and one for my son.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because now we've been talking about how they've re-released No Man's Sky so many times now that I didn't know. That he was talking with his friend in school, and his friend has a completely different front cover on his case than we do, because we have the original ones and everyone else has like the Waypoint version or whatever it is.
Yeah, I have the original launch Steelbook, and like that is a much different game from top to bottom.
Yeah. So No Man's Sky, it's a good game. They've come a long way. They fixed a lot of things. Is it still a little jaggy? Yeah. But it's
a really good time to hop into it if you've ever been curious about it. The new game experience and how friendly it is right now is really good.
And the game updated. I went to my home base and it wasn't covered in terrain.
Nice.
And I also noticed in my new game, when I went to build a base, it automatically flattens out your terrain when you go to build a floor.
Great. Yes. Yeah. Let's go.
So they at least listened to us yelling and complaining.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that's everything I have. Yeah, so right now I am playing the PS4 version, which, like I said, I'm trying to get the platinum of. And there's right next to that little tiny voice telling me to replay Warframe. There's also that little tiny voice of, hey, this is on Game Pass. You can get like 1,000.
You can play it again.
Yeah. So that's been my No Man's Sky experience. It's really great. Screw the survival trophy. Moving on to my next game, which is Dying Light 2.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yes. Didn't play a whole lot, but so Best Buy had this game on sale for $29.
Shocker. Who would have thought?
I know.
That's right.
After I was saying, it's like, I will buy it when it's on sale. And like 2 weeks later, Best Buy's like, hey. So I went in and bought my first Series X physical video game.
Oh, nice.
Which I didn't realize that until I went to put the disc in the Xbox and realized I don't know where there it is. There's the slot.
There's that little guy.
I struggle with that on every Xbox that I've got. I've got an S, an X, and a Project Scorpio, and every single one of them, I'm always like, okay, I need to look, because otherwise it's just going to be ding, 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 ding.
Well, it doesn't help because I have mine laying down horizontally, and the shelf that it's on is just big enough for the Series X and my PS5 to fit on. And so with the disk drive being at the very top now, since it's laying down horizontally,
sure,
the drawers on top block where, I can't see, like I have to bend down and look at it, head on to see.
And it's the opposite of the PS5, because the PS5's disk drive is on the bottom.
The bottom, right under that massive lip. For some reason,
I can never see it.
Idea. Yeah. Anyway, so Angel and I, weird sentence. Anyway, we have both been playing this. We have not been very far into this game. Just like the first game, you have to beat a bunch of missions before you can even initialize the co-op. For those of you that don't know or are wanting to play this in co-op with us, you have to get past the mission that's called Markers of Plague. It's roughly 2 hours, like the first 2 hours of the game.
That's not too bad.
It's not horrible. And then once you do that, then you can jump into each other's, whoever's game. I don't know about crossplay. I didn't look into it. I'm pretty sure he was playing on the Xbox as well.
Okay.
But I didn't ask. But either way, once we could get co-op together, which we both didn't realize that it was going to take that long.
Right.
So we both, kind of meandered Saturday, or no, what was it? Tuesday, I think it was when we tried to play together. And then that's when we realized, like, oh, this is going to be like 2 hours before we can actually play co-op with each other. And so we were just going to chit-chatting and party until we could both jump into each other's games. And that's also when I realized that there's no progression if you're not the host.
Oh, great.
Which is different from the first game.
Also, It's 2022. Can we stop doing that?
Yeah. Which isn't that big of an issue, because basically what had happened was I'd gotten past that quest and started the next one while Angel Eye was still getting through that quest, because he thought he was already on it, and it was a whole thing of us trying to figure crap out. So I continued on to the next quest, then jumped into his game. We did the next quest that I completed, and then moved on to the next one after that. And then we called it a night, and then I jumped into the game by myself just to check out, random stuff, and realized that it was not showing my progression. Like, it was still showing the first mission that I completed, but not the one that we completed together.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is fantastic.
This is less than ideal.
Yeah, but you still get to keep anything that you used or created. You still keep that.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's at least that going on. I don't know, like, you have to get, like, these special chests that you open with a key that you get, like, first thing in the game, like, way early. And these basically give you, like, a mutagen thing where you can increase your health or your stamina. So you get, like, certain amount of needles, jab them into yourself, and oh, look, you're all healthy, or you have more stamina.
Oh, it's Bioshock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I grabbed a couple of them with him. I don't know if I go back to those chests in my game, if those are already opened or not. So that may be a weird thing, weird, not glitch, but just kind of a weird world state that you can play around with and get more beefed up.
Right.
It's exactly like the first game where I don't know what's going on anymore. They give you, we're like, 3 hours into this game and I already don't know and don't care. They give you a pretty good movie descriptor at the beginning of, hey, this is what happened in the first game.
Oh, okay.
3 years later, this is what happened here. 15 years later, we're all sideways, and here's the start of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what our main character's name was from the first game. So
hold on.
I know what it is now because I looked it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
So I'm going to tell you right now. Our main character in the second game's name is Aiden. All right.
Okay.
Does he have an iconic cap?
No. However, because of that confusion from Watch Dogs, I had thought that was the name of the character from the first game. Until they started making references to Crane, who you played as in the first game. And I'm like, who's this Crane? Yeah. And I'm like, who is this Crane guy they keep talking about with GRE? And I'm like, oh, crap, that was the character we played as in the first game.
Right.
So this game is not getting any points for lore.
Again.
The control scheme is completely the same, and you can't change any of it. So jump is still right bumper. We are still getting used to the fact that you pull the left trigger, and that's for you to throw things. That's not for you to look down sights or anything else.
Oh boy.
They now have the mechanic, which I think you had talked about this a little bit last time, Moon, where there's two different zombies now. You have zombies that can stay out during the day, and then you have zombies that are basically vampire zombies, where as soon as they touch daylight or UV, they start to sparkle and catch on fire.
Okay.
During the day, you still have a normal...
You mentioned the two key words. The SEO is going to go through the roof here. You said
That's right.
vampires and
Sparkly
sparkly.
vampires.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
During the day, you still have a normal amount of zombies, parading around the streets, and you'll have some of them that'll pop out of the buildings and stuff, and those are also vampires that, if you leave them alone, will catch on fire and die, usually by themselves.
Okay.
During the night is when all the little vampire zombies come out.
Okay.
And they're not difficult, but I believe that's also where the variants start to come out, which is in the first game what all of them pretty much seem to turn into at nighttime, or at least there was a ton of them at night. And those were the ones that we were constantly running away from because you just get surrounded and it's not a good time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I bring this up with the day-night cycle is that there are certain objectives and like supply caches that you can get into, and of course they're inside buildings. So they always tell you, well, wait until nighttime when all of the vampire zombies, again, that's just what I'm calling them, that's not what they are, come out of those buildings. So that way you're not dealing with a building full of zombies, you're just dealing with a world full of zombies.
Right.
Okay. I haven't tried those yet because right now it seems like that's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is the difficult, fun thing, like the dark sector in can't think of names.
Sure. But
Tom
they're like
Clancy's
little dungeons.
Division. There we go. Division.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like that, where it's like that extra challenge that you can take on, and I don't feel like taking on that challenge right now. So.
Yeah.
We do not have the grappling hook yet. So far. That seems like an item that you earn by completing a mission. It's not like in the first game where it's a skill that you unlock and all of a sudden you have a grappling hook. And there's like a bunch of weird, I don't know, it's changed. They did a lot of changes from 1 to 2, and I'm still early enough that I can see the skills have changed from how they were in the first one. There's now only 2 skill trees instead of 4. Yeah, because the fourth one didn't unlock until you maxed out one of them, and then you started messing with the legendary skill tree or whatever. That may come later, because apparently there's a lot of fun stuff that you can unlock and do in the second game. Like I said, we only made it like the first 3 hours into this game. But it's fun. We are still enjoying a lot of the parkour. Your character automatically runs now, we noticed.
Hey, nice.
So I don't have to keep... It throws me off because I keep clicking the left stick to run, and then my guy just starts walking. And then bad stuff starts happening. So you kind of have to get used to that your character is already running, and unfortunately it just seems slow. But you are going fast in this world. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun, just like the first one. If you got someone else to play with, it's just us shooting the S, playing the game, and it's like, oh, look, did you see how that guy fell down an elevator shaft? And I was like, no, I missed it. And then the body lands on top of you, and you're like, oh, that scared me.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, Dying Light 2. I'm looking forward to getting a group together at some point and playing it. That's about it. Okay. It's more the same, just newer. I haven't come across any glitches yet.
Oh, nice.
I will say the main thing that does annoy me is that you still cannot hard save. It's only auto saving. And I've had that bite me 3 times now, where I had to restart the very first mission 3 different times because I got far enough where you would have assumed in any other game that the autosave would have kicked in at some point, and it did not. Yikes. So that still sucks. Let me look at my notes, and I'm pretty sure that is everything. So yep, my last game is I jumped back into God of War 2018. And this game is really clicking with me again. On my road, try to get the platinum before the second game comes out next month. It's going slow. There's a lot to do. I am currently, what is it called? The Black Mark. Or the Black Ruin, I'm sorry, is the current mission that I'm in now. This is the ruin that you need to get into Jotunheim, which then leads into the endgame stuff, or starting down the trail of endgame stuff. So far, according to the guide that I'm following, I'm about 7 key points away from beating the game again.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, cool. So I am now at the point where I have my secondary weapons. I now have the ability to do the whole thing with like the hell winds, where you grab the green wind with your secondary weapon and move it around these orbs. It's a weird puzzle game. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna start doing all this side quest crap, where it's like, get the missions for the dwarves, which I didn't really do. Do the missions for the dead people and the spirits, and find the ravens. And those ravens, man, that is the absolute worst. I hate those things.
That's annoying.
Why are there like 51 of them in here, and why is there
so many
trophy tied to them? Oh my god!
Yeah.
At least they do have it so that way the map is blocked off and it shows you, hey, in this section, these are all the chests. You're at 12 of 12. You're missing one raven out of like 3 in this area. It's like, all right, cool. Let me go look up a guide online now and be like, this area, ravens, where are they? And okay, let's go hunt down these 3 stupid things. The Valkyries, I am fighting those again, and
those
things are tough. And from my understanding, those aren't the hard ones. It's when you get all of them and then fight the queen that's where the game starts.
Oh, you never fought that one originally?
No, because that was one of those things where it was like, let me beat the game, and then I know it kicks you back in.
Right.
So I was like, I'll do the Valkyrie then. And then, 3 years later, I was like, I don't know why I have my Kratos set up this way. And let me just restart the game. So that way
that fight is intense.
Yeah. I am already dreading that. But everything else, God, they just did really good with this game.
Yeah.
I still really enjoy being on the boat, getting to your next location, because then that's when you have Mimir in the boat with you, talking to you and Atreus, and he's just filling you in on lore.
Yep.
And so you're getting the back lore between, the dwarves and how they built Thor's hammer and how much of a douche Thor is, and all this other fun stuff. And I really enjoy how they did this and how they kind of keep you engaged. There's like no dead air. If you want to listen to the lore, yeah, do it. If you don't, just turn it down a little bit, pop in some headphones and play a podcast or whatever. But I just really enjoy that Mimir is there and he's just giving you these fun stories, and he's breaking down the lore of individuals and the giants and the fighting and all this fun crap. And it's just really cool to listen to. And I think I would listen to an audiobook of Mimir just recapping all the lore.
Yeah.
And I hope they do a Mimir video recap of the first game for the second game.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would take that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to mop up before I beat the game again. Hopefully I'll get the platinum, because it's not difficult. It's just time consuming, and that's the thing that I hate about trophies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
Oh, nice.
Just having a lot of fun.
I have played a lot more Death Stranding this week.
Yeah, come on, Amazon boy. Tell me all about this. And by Amazon, I'm talking about the shipping and receiving part, not the, jungle part.
Yeah, I'm
a problem.
I'm 100% back into this in a way that is great, because I love this game. Most of this week's objectives here has been, I know because of PlayStation Stars, a bunch of people have started this game, so I'm going to ask us not to spoil this mechanic that I will talk about. But my main focus this week was, I think last week when I left off, I was in Chapter 5, and this week was, I'm going to start and get through Chapter 6 as quickly as possible. For anybody that has played it before, Chapter 6 is where you first go into Snowy Mountains and the game's mechanics change for that chapter. And I gave this suggestion to Bilsiford the other night, because he had just started playing it. If you play Death Stranding, get through Chapter 6 as quickly as humanly possible. The things you unlock at the end of Chapter 6 make the entire game so much easier, and those mechanics that change during that chapter revert. So you kind of get back to the regular game.
It's kind of the opposite of the Hinterlands, where it's just halfway through the game, and just do it so that you can continue having fun.
Yeah. So like Chapter 3 is really long, because you have like a bajillion deliveries to do, and you're kind of learning the game. So it's a lot of fun. Chapter 6 is, it's not that I wasn't having fun. It just turns the game from this kind of like zen, mostly relaxing delivery simulator into a nightmare, stressful hellscape for like 3 hours. And now that I'm done with it, I'm on like chapter 8. I'm doing stuff for Hartman now. Like that's fine. I'm back to normal. Let's do it. So that was majority of my week, was just kind of getting through that as unscathed as possible. And man, I am really enjoying Death Stranding still. I did find out. Okay, so I have like 2 big things happen this week. One is I unlocked zip lines, so I'm setting up like this zip line network across everywhere I can possibly go.
Zip line across America.
That's right, which that still continues to be really, really fun.
You are Sam Bridges, not Sam Zipline.
That's right. I still do a lot of walking because
zip lines can be bridges too.
That's right. That's right.
It's just less effort
across America.
Wait, hold on. Is every zip line a bridge, but not every bridge is a zip line?
That's
correct.
Right.
You have cable bridges. Just turn those cables horizontal.
That's right. That's right. Oh God. I still do a lot of walking because like that's the part of the game I enjoy, is just like holding down L2 and R2 and just kind of hoofing it over there. I've got the speed skeleton level 3, so I'm like kind of moving as fast as possible without being, crazy imbalanced.
I completely forgot how much like Phantom Pain this looks like.
Yes, it's very much the same interface. Like, yeah, it's pretty wild. I forgot how much I don't like the boss battles and the, let's call them flashback sequences that take place. I don't think either one of them are fun. I don't think they're bad. It's just sort of like, all right, let me throw a bunch of hematic grenades at this shadow panther for like 10 minutes and then I'm done.
Yeah, because that was the worst thing. A lot of those bosses usually hid.
Yeah,
like a little bit, so then you had to wait for them to pop up, and then you just keep dumping on them until they hide again.
And there's no other enemies, so it's not like you're fighting BTs while you're waiting for them to appear again. It's just sort of like, well, I'm standing on this building that came out of this goo, and I'm just kind of waiting for a minute. There they are. All right, chuck. Like it just they're fine. They're not my favorite part of the game. Clearly, the flashback stuff still sort of stinks, but I don't want to spoil any of that, so I'm not really going to talk about it.
Floor lava can kind of suck depending on the terrain that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I did run into a new thing for the director's cut, because I'm playing the director's cut this time. The mules and terrorists about halfway through the game now have turrets. That sucks.
Hooray!
That sucks real bad. They have some real range on those, and that is really, really terrible.
That was horrible trying to go through like their territory, because as soon as you cross that line, they know you're there.
Yep. And I have like relearned the timing for nullifying the little pulse they send out. And I actually accidentally, through the upgrades I was doing, I accidentally unlocked the non-lethal assault rifle level 3, which you can switch between rubber bullets and hematic bullets, so you can kind of take care of anything you run across. And that has been great, because using rubber bullets against the mules, you get like, I think you get like 150 shots per gun that you craft, and in about 10 shots, it knocks down a mule. So, like, you can clear out, you bring 2 of those things into a mule camp, and you can kind of clear out the entire thing.
Like the video was showing, I always loved the bola, because that was pretty much, as long as you could hit them, they were going down.
Yeah, they go down, you walk over, you kick them, and that knocks them out, and then you're just kind of back on your way. Yeah, Death Stranding is really, really good. I'm at the point now where I'm in Hartman's chapter, where you're kind of building the chiral network to the last couple of people that are really hard, like the spiritualist, the geologist, like those people that are way up in the mountains. And like, by the time you get to that point, you're well equipped enough to be able to handle the whole thing, but it's still kind of a challenge, which is great. I like Death Stranding a lot. I wish more people would try it, and I wish more people would go into it blind, because it is a very fun game to play, and it is also a Kojima experience, for better or for worse. So
Yes.
like if the story clicks with you, cool. Like it's a ride. And if it doesn't, that's fine, because you'll still probably enjoy the gameplay by itself. And Death Stranding is just really great. I'm glad I decided to pick it back up again. I have been enjoying the director's cut largely for the 60 frames, and a TV that has functional HDR this time. And it's just, Death Stranding is great. We talked about it a lot last week, and I don't have anything. I know what I'm going to be doing next, which is like the back half of that game is kind of like a couple of boss fights in a row, and then like one really long chapter that I'm not going to spoil. And I'm kind of trying to set up the game for that long chapter, because we didn't know what was coming when I played this game on launch, and now I do. So I'm trying to or I didn't mind how I played it the first time, but if I can make it a little bit smoother, then that will make things a little bit easier. And I'm sort of at the point where I'm thinking I'll probably just go through and push through to finish the game, and then come back through with all the upgrades and all this stuff unlocked to kind of see if I want to get the rest of the trophies and stuff. So, Death Stranding is great. I love it. I'm still having a blast. It's still really good. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I've been playing some more Disney Dreamlight Valley. I made the seemingly foolish choice to recruit Remy as my first person, which turned into, hey, why don't you figure out how to make all these recipes? And my immediate reaction was,
is it as bad as the Kingdom Hearts one? Because the Kingdom Hearts one is bad.
No, I think it's worse, because I don't want to do this. It's essentially like Remy, to set up his restaurant, he has this area where he has a bunch of different shelves, and he has unlimited ingredients, which is great. You unfortunately don't have unlimited storage space, which I get. But part of his thing is he'll teach you, I think it's 2 recipes at the beginning, and he's like, oh, you need one of these and one of these and one of these. But then really quickly he's like, cool, I need you to make this dish, you figure it out. And it's like, no, that sucks. That is exactly what I don't want to be doing in this game. So I looked all that stuff up, because that's not, I tried 1 or 2 times, and he's like, no, man, sorry, you made a charcuterie plate. And I was like, why am I, come on, man, this is not fun at all. So I feel like I maybe have made the wrong choice by choosing Remy as my first person to recover. But it largely seems like it's kind of the rinse and repeat thing that we've seen for the last couple of weeks of, you're going to recover someone, you're going to go do a bunch of missions, you'll build their building, and then you're kind of building their friendship, going from there out. I know Scar is coming next week. It's going to be their first big patch. It's just going to be interesting to see if they're going to change or fix anything. The game seems like it's largely in a pretty solid place right now. My wife has been playing a lot of it, and I've been watching her play it, and it seems like it's fairly bug-free, not frustration-free, to be clear.
Yeah.
But this game is a really strange beast, because it is very clearly a mobile game that is not on mobile platforms. And it is really weird at how it could use a lot more communication of hey, I need you to collect 5 emeralds. You should do this over the next couple of real life days. You don't worry about just grinding it out now. Not going to be a thing that's going to happen. Maybe they respawn once every 2 hours. So it's do something else while you're working on this in the background is not very good about communicating that. Probably for like a game design retention reason, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit frustrating if you're not thinking about how mobile games are there to keep you playing instead of communicate with you. So
Yeah.
it's still good.
This game and my wife are the reason why I haven't really been able to touch my Xbox. So
Right.
if you see me online playing that game, it ain't me. It's
That's
my
right.
wife.
That's right.
I did get to play the fishing game because and managed to catch a super rare fish that my wife still needed.
Oh,
and
nice.
She was super happy, and that was just me screwing around trying to figure out how the mini game worked.
It's a little weird.
Now she's missing one more fish to complete that, and she's good to go on those. She also found out I guess she upgraded her house so that she has like a whole nother level or a side floor or something. Yep. And she figured out from some people talking online that you can put tables down, and apparently in that screen where you can move furniture around, if you have items on the floor, you can pick up those items and put them on the table.
Oh,
for
interesting.
Like decoration or whatever. So now she has this big room with tables with items on it, and in front of the table, in front of those items, she has stacks of chests. So now she knows, hey, this chest represents all these wood products that I need for crafting.
No.
She's gone full Stardew Valley.
Yes.
That's right. I have a sign for my chest that has yams flowers.
In them. Yep. So she's even got it set up for like the emeralds or the gemstones or whatever, because apparently like the shiny ones are bigger than the normal ones.
Yep.
And she has them set up so that way the shiny one is up front and to the left, and the smaller regular ones are in the back and to the right. So
I respect the organization. I like it.
This game triggers my wife's OCD so hard.
Yeah. I respect it.
I'm not even going to talk about Minecraft and how I did that in that monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last game I played this week, though, is I've been sort of waiting until all of this was out, but I started We Are OFK. This is the kind of...
one?
Yeah, the music, like starting a band in LA, multi-chapter sort of... I call them kind of like modern adventure games, but I guess you could really kind of call them like... It's really like what... It reminds me the most of Life is Strange, where there's going to be a lot of story, it's going to be a lot of voice acting, it's going to be a lot of decisions, and not a lot of, it's not like a point and click adventure game where you're going to be walking around and investigating stuff. Like, it's not that type of adventure game. It's the kind of decision tree voice acting kind of one.
Yeah.
And one thing I really like about this game a lot is when you look at the main menu, it has like all your settings and stuff, but it has the 5 chapters along top, and it has an estimated length of time to play through each chapter. So it's like 52 minutes, 54 minutes, 38 minutes. I really like that because I could say, all right, perfect. I have a little over an hour now. First chapter is 52 minutes. I should be able to sit through the entire thing and do the whole thing all at once. And then I can kind of finish chapter 1, and I'll know, I need like 45 minutes to do chapter 2. I'll try and find like one sitting where I can do that and kind of knock that out. So far, I really liked chapter 1. These games are very much me games to begin with, so that's why I've been interested in it for a while. It shares a lot of DNA with something like Life is Strange, like I mentioned, and it feels similar to those where you're kind of going through a scene and you'll have a couple of decisions. I have it here on the stream too. You get to do a lot of texting in the game, and you have multiple decisions you can make on texting for sending different texts back to your friends. And it plays well. The voice acting is really good. The music is unsurprisingly really good, since it seems to be a game about like a VH1 behind the music. Here's how we started this band sort of thing. So thankfully the music is really good. If you are one of those types of people that are allergic to how people talk in the real world, this is definitely not a game for you. If you think the kids speak in ways that don't make sense, don't buy this game, because it very much is that. But the thing that surprised me the most was at some point, probably about 2/3 through the first chapter, you get to the point where essentially there's going to be a music video that's playing. And the interesting thing about that is you got to play the music video. So before then, you weren't like moving your character around or doing anything. But in this, you were playing the different scenes of the music video and like collecting stuff and flying around and like moving stuff around the screen and trying to like fight off waves of enemies. It was switching between multiple scenes of the video while you're playing it, while you're kind of enjoying the song. So I thought that was kind of neat, because I thought they would just do like a traditional music video thing where you're kind of watching it like you're kind of watching the rest of the game. But that was kind of neat and kind of unexpected. So far, I like it a lot. It's I've only played the first chapter, but so far, I like where it's going. I like the like two of the characters work at this very clearly Blizzard company who's very clearly making not Overwatch, and the kind of ins and outs of working on this overworked, crunching hellscape of a video game, which I kind of appreciate.
I'll say joke's on you, because real world Blizzard clearly isn't working on an Overwatch game.
That's right.
Hi-oh.
Got him. So I think this is really cool. I am not surprised that I'm enjoying it, because this is really up my alley. But I think it's really well done. I think it has a really cool style. I think all the voice acting is really great, and I think all the music, thankfully, so far has been really, really solid. And I think I am excited to play more of it. I'd like to say that I would finish the other chapters this week, but there are 4 more chapters, and the last chapter seems like it's really pretty long. But so far so good. I'm enjoying where this is going, and I'm excited to keep playing more of We Are OFK. But that's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep. Do you guys want to see Big Chunky Boy before I kick him out the room?
Sure. I'll do that before I go take a quick bio break.
Yeah.
Come to us, large cat.
Oh, he's right next to me.
Let us witness your hugeness. Don't pull your back out. Oh, he's so big. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's cute. He is very confused right now. I'm off the ground, and I don't like it.
He's not 100% a fan of being picked up.
Is this not a safe space for him?
That's right.
He also doesn't know what the top of my desk looks like, because he doesn't jump.
Oh, sure. Well, he is large.
Yeah.
Bye, buddy. All right, I'll be right back.
So I'm going to let my cat out, too.
Okay, I guess I'll sit here and wait until you guys do, until I come back.
Just go.
No, I'm not going to leave an
no one
empty
listens.
room.
No one listens to this section anyway. It's fine.
Pharaoh in chat asks, "Where's Louise?" She is actually outside of the room right now, because I went up for a bio break myself earlier and she left. But literally when I started recording with Boston, like, she was already in my face. Because apparently she missed me. Which, if you haven't seen it, I did post a photo on Twitter showing how much she missed me. Which is to say, she was in my hoodie. Oh, and also, yes, this is my pork friend. From episode 8. AKA the best Star Wars movie. Don't come at me, folks. I think I may have broken him in transit, though, because he's supposed to make noises, and he doesn't anymore, which is a little sad. But it's also fine, because he did like literally travel across the states. It just sucks that I think his button has become disconnected because he does make pog noises too. But like I said, you had to smush him on the head to do so, and it looks like his head smushy button got
Smushy button?
I fixed him.
You got him to work?
I fixed him.
Maybe.
I did.
While I was out today at Target, they had a Halloween-themed Groku cup.
Oh, of course.
And when you put anything hot in it, it adds candy, and it glows in the dark. You see?
Okay.
It's just Groku living in the pumpkin on one side, and on the other side it says, I think it says cutest pumpkin.
I also like the fact that the pumpkin is carved with the Mandalorian's helmet.
Yep. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Oh.
Hold on. Let me see if it. Makes the dumbest noises.
But the whole other reason for us going to Target is because, and I guess since this is going out to Patreons, Target this week is selling all its physical copies of Horizon Forbidden West for $49, the PS5 version.
Dang.
So I went there and
That's pretty
picked
good.
that up. So I've
Nice.
got that now. So for all you Patreons listening, if you want to pick up that game for fairly cheap now,
There you go.
go get it at Target while they're
You
trying
played
to get
You
rid of
played the first
inventory.
one, right?
I did.
Hmm.
I did not platinum it like you did because I looked at the trophies
There's
for
a
that. And I
lot,
was
man.
like, nope, not in my wheelhouse. Don't care.
I did not platinum the second one. Also, don't feel badly. Everybody struggles with the game starting at like the halfway point of the second one all the way to the end. My biggest recommendation is set it down to story difficulty and just blow through the back half of that game.
Okay.
It gets to be really hard in like a not an unfair way, but like kind of often an unfun way.
Mm. And I didn't realize it at the store until I got home, but the physical copy that I picked up was still the launch edition, so I have the pre-order bonus of getting like the first game staff and costume,
nice.
I think it is.
Yeah, those were kind of fun. It was cool seeing those in the new game.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. I will get to this sometime this year, maybe.
I also got like, because I pre-ordered the like digital deluxe or whatever. So I also got some like pieces for the Final Fantasy Tactics board game thing that they have in the game, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
Never used those because I kind of didn't like that very much. But I didn't platinum that. I don't think. Let me look.
I don't know. I know you and Musum did a
We did do a spoiler cast. Yeah. That's right.
Because I listened, because I know myself well enough, I listened to that whole thing knowing that I was eventually going to play the game, but I knew that it was going to be far enough in the future that I was not going to remember anything that you guys said.
Exactly, right. Log in my account here.
Yeah, because I think the first one, I think I just did like the bare minimum, because a lot of that stuff was like the Hunter Trials stuff, if I remember correctly. And
yeah.
I did not care about those at all.
I think I only did them because of the platinum.
Hold on. Okay. I made the mistake of opening the door to let Big Boy out.
And now Louise is
A
in.
little one came in. Come on. Hey. I'm up here. Thank you.
Oh, man.
And then I keep pestering my wife to finish building the head of my tall neck, because she wanted to build it. I picked it up so I could build it, but I didn't really care. She wanted something to do. I'm like, cool, there you go. And she did everything else except for the head.
Oh no,
So
I did get the platinum in that.
I have you're just crazy, but I have just a headless tall neck.
Right. Yeah, I've got my tall neck over there. That building the head of that was actually a lot of fun.
But yeah, of course you platinumed it.
Yeah, of course I
You
did.
guys are fucking crazy. And
Nightbot, chill out. Jeez. All right, are you guys ready to wrap this thing up? I clearly need to
Took
close.
my earphone out.
Clearly need to close my curtains.
It's an ear. Look, earphone. It has to go in my ear.
I say my neighbor stopped playing with his diesel engine, so
Nice.
I get to keep my windows open. Yay!
All right. Okay, now I'm ready if you guys are.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of October 17th, 2022. A Plague Tale Requiem comes out, PS5, Series Console, Switch, and PC. Moon, you played the first one, right?
Yes, I got like 75% of the way through it, then stopped, then it left Game Pass, so now I have to buy it.
Oh, okay. I people seem to be really, really pumped about this one, which it makes me really happy. But
it was one of those games that when it hit big.
Yep.
And for good reason. It looked beautiful, it was acted amazingly, and the gameplay mechanics was something relatively unique. And horrifying.
Yeah, just watching video of that is just like, oh, you guys animated that stuff really well. Yikes. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed comes out, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Consoles, and PC. I like that we have back-to-back weeks of me not knowing that there are asymmetric multiplayer games coming out.
Dragon Ball Breakers, and then this one.
Yeah, this one's a 4v1 asymmetric Ghostbusters game. It looks okay. It's a cool use of the license to get the kind of 4 Ghostbusters versus 1 ghost thing going.
It is, but at the same time, the market can only handle so many asymmetric multiplayer games.
Well, and I feel badly because this is the team behind Friday the 13th, and it's like, man, going for another licensed one, huh? Okay. Like, I just feel like you're playing with fire here.
At least this time it wasn't 12v1.
Mm-hmm. That's true. True. The next game we have here is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. Comes out on PC. I think that's Uncharted 4 and the spin-off one that people really liked. So that's coming to PC.
Oh, is that the one with Chloe being the main character?
Like Lost Legacy or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think that means all of the Uncharted games are on PC, which those games are good. If you haven't played them, they're a good thing. Turn the difficulty down on those. Mm-hmm. Normal can be a little too bullet spongy for like all of those games. But they're great. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope comes out on the Switch. Still wild seeing this is not like a grid-based Final Fantasy Tactics thing. It's more of an XCOM sort of I have an Overwatch button for Mario's gun sort of thing. But
it's very odd that you're able to say that sentence.
That's right.
Mario has a gun.
Right. My favorite Aerosmith song. But
I hate you. You beat me to
it. Oh man. But that looks pretty good. I never finished the first one, so I'm like hesitant to buy this one because I feel like I'll never finish this one either. But man, that first one was really good, and this next one looks really good too. I just have a lot of other strategy RPGs I'm also not playing, so it's a bummer. The Jackbox Party Pack 9 comes out for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. Or as I wrote it, Android. I was gonna look up what games are included in this pack, but I wouldn't be able to tell what they actually meant anyways. So half of the time it's like Cyber Robot Battle 27. It's like, okay, cool. Oh, the robots are rapping against each other and you write the raps? Okay, sure. Great.
Yeah,
okay.
If it's not fibbage, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Vampire Survivors comes out on PC. This is the out of early access into 1.0 release, which means he increased the price. I think it's like now $4 or something like that. It's less than $10 for a game that is incredible. So you should still not hesitate to buy that game. Gotham Knights is coming out PS5, Series, consoles, and PC.
This seems like a weird thing with a bunch of weird stories coming out now.
It just had like the worst marketing week that I think a video game has had in the longest time, where the developers came out and said that, hey, the current gen consoles are going to be 30 frames per second, and there's not a performance versus quality setting, so it's only 30 frames, and PC is targeting 30 frames at 1080p as well.
Yeah.
And look, game development is hard. We know that. Marketing for video games is especially hard. Having this come out on a Discord server a week before release feels not great. This game already did not look good, but sort of dumping this out quietly is bad. It's pretty rough.
It also seems weird that what I had read was they're citing the Series S for being the reason, and old gen, but mostly the Series S for being the reason why it's 30 frames across the board.
That might be the case, but the idea that
there's several other games that are coming out that are also on the Series S that still have a performance mode and a quality mode. And
the idea that they're coming out with a game that doesn't have like the what I feel is a fairly standard performance mode of like, it'll be like 1440 or 1080 at 60 frames, and it should be solid, or a quality mode where it's gonna be like, yeah, it's probably like full native 4K and it's aiming for 30 frames. The idea that they're just like, we're not doing that is pretty unexpected, I think, at this point with the where we're at with. I mean, that was even an expectation in late last gen games. Yeah. So like, I don't know, Gotham Knights, you got a lot going against you.
They also, just as well, as far as I'm aware, they only recently talked about the fact that it's 2-player co-op only for the campaign.
Oh, I thought it was 4-player. I didn't even see that. Oh, man.
I think that was another shadow drop thing as well, yeah.
And then, like, the 4-player co-op mode is coming later, but it's like an arena-based mode.
Oh, boy. Yeah, and then, like, the biggest clip that came out on Twitter the other day was when someone got a really high combo in the game, Livin' La Vida Loca started playing, and everyone was just like, what? Wait, what? So, not a great couple of weeks for Gotham Knights that already didn't look that great. So,
yeah,
good luck, little buddy. Next up, new Tales from the Borderlands comes out. PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This is the sequel to Tales from the Borderlands, made by not the same team. So,
yeah, it's not a
caution.
Is it a Telltale game still, or is it not a Telltale? Okay, yeah.
Because that was their big thing, is Gearbox is like, we're making a new one ourselves. And it's like, I don't want you near Borderlands anymore. you shouldn't.
Or anything.
You should let someone else make it, which is why Tales from the Borderlands was really good, because it wasn't a Gearbox Borderlands game. So I hope this is good. I have seen very little of it, and I'm sure we won't see very much of it until after release, but I am also not really the target market for this at all. So,
yeah, which is ironic considering how much we all adore Tales.
Yeah, like sleeper hit of that year, Tales from the Borderlands, like wild. Persona 5 Royal comes out for PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Switch, and PC. PS4 is missing there because it's been out there for a while. It is Game Pass day and date. Again,
excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Mr. Moon in the back.
Can I file a complaint, please?
Yes.
Why is 5 the first one out? Do 3, 4, 5 for the love of
the newest
Jiminy.
one.
Yeah,
I don't care. Even more reason to do it the other way.
Yeah, they just announced the release date for 3 and 4, and that's coming out like January 23rd or something like that, like the end of January, beginning of February. So not too far off.
Presents.
Yeah. I will recommend again. Number 1, you should play Persona 5 Royal. Number 2, you should look up a spoiler-free guide on how to get the true ending. There are plenty of them out there that won't be like, this person does this and that in the end. But there's there are certain things you need to do at certain points of the year to make sure that you kind of get set up for the true ending. And since this game is 100 hours long, I encourage you to do that so you don't miss something and like waste literally 50 hours. It does have New Game Plus, so if you need to play through it again...
is there New Game Plus? Yes, there is. Do you want to spend another 50 hours playing the game?
Yeah,
maybe
like
not.
Skipping cutscenes and scooting through dungeons. So I would recommend Persona 5 Royal. It is really good. The Royal version is very good, but please save yourself the headache of missing out on the true ending. And last but certainly not least, Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher comes out for the Switch. Hey, do you want to raise an Ultra Kaiju of your own?
Yes,
Amkai Bando has you.
I'm sorry.
The trailer for
why
this
is it
game
only on Switch. Why not other platforms?
Because Japanese companies are wild. Just like Square Enix putting Harvestella out on Switch and PC. Why? Why are you like this?
Well, that's another fun shadow drop thing where a lot of people who got hands-on with that were like, this isn't that good of a game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, like, it is uneven, and I'm not enjoying it. And a couple other people being like, I like this a lot, so
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, go watch the trailer for Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher to see one of the funniest trailers of, like, your farm with Godzilla on it. It's really good.
Oh,
so
Moon's getting it.
How twisted? No, I don't have frequent enough access to a Switch to warrant this. No, to tell you how messed up my brain is, they've got some card thing that they're doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the trailer for it now. And it's like, touch the cards to the controller for the NFC thing, and I immediately read it as NFT and was about to start crap talking.
You're like, yes. Oh man. All right, no news stories this week because I don't feel like talking about any of them. Microsoft and Sony are in a slap fight over in Europe, and everything is terrible with crunch, and video games are the worst, and there's abuse everywhere. So I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. So we're not going to. Check us out next week for more depressing news stories in the video game industry. We do have a question here from Late Elf. Says, with the popularity of at-home coin-op cabinets in the recent years, if you had your pick, which one would you have in your home or multiple when you're not living in a closet, since this is a what-if?
Just for the nostalgia of it all, there'll be the same genre, but it'll be a different name that I can't remember because I'm terrible with names, and this was very rare. One that you can switch between all of the Time Crisis games.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Time Crisis was great, man.
It was great, and it was a big deal to me when I was a kid because they were the newest arcade cabinets around by where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll throw in the Point Blank because everybody likes and hates that game.
Yeah. I totally forgot until you just mentioned Time Crisis Silent Scope, because I played that on the Dreamcast. But I forgot that was
so good.
A real arcade machine. It had the full sniper,
scope. And you had to look through the scope to be able to see anything. Yeah,
that was a cool arcade machine. That was great.
I'll say the first ones that came to mind to me was I want to have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet right next to the X-Men cabinet.
Yep.
Followed with the Sega fighter, I don't even remember what it was, but the one that was basically that giant capsule that you were in, and the whole thing like rotated and moved, and you had like the full console of controls and stuff for it.
Yep. I don't remember what game that was. That was like a fighter jet thing.
Yeah, it was some jet thing, and I know somebody had rigged it so it turned into a space game at some point too. I don't care. I would take both. I would have two machines next to each other, whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what game I would want on a coin-op thing, because I feel like for me, so many of the games that I was playing that weren't pinball machines were mostly the ones that we were playing like 4 players. So it was like you and 3 other kids in the arcade that you don't know, and you were never going to meet again playing the Simpsons arcade game.
Yep.
Or like 6 other people playing the X-Men arcade game. But I'm trying to think of what arcade games were really good as like maybe a 1 or 2 person thing. And I'm kind of drawing a blank for anything other than like Mortal Kombat 2 or anything like that. Dimebag in chat says, remember Golden Axe. Yeah, that's another one I forgot was an arcade game also.
The Terminator 2 arcade game that had the recoil on the machine guns.
That's right.
Where they had to have it screwed down and secured.
Yep. Feyroar in chat says Star Wars Pod Racer. That was a really good arcade machine.
Cool.
That was a cool one.
Honestly, so was the Star Wars one that had the lightsaber. That one was great as well.
Oh yeah,
I played that one.
Yeah.
It had like you could pick between each of the original 3 episodes, and depending on what you picked, depended on what you did. So it was like one controller that was a blaster in episode 4, the lightsaber in 5, and then it was something else in 6. It was real solid.
Yeah.
Because I went to a Dave & Buster's like a couple of years ago. The whole NASCAR Daytona 500 thing, where you've got like 8 of them stacked side by side, and you're all
Daytona USA.
Yeah, I think the one that we played had the rumble features in the seats, and like your steering wheel would fight you and stuff like that.
When you crash, it's
yeah.
The Mario Kart one is actually pretty solid too. Like if you
the Mario Kart one's good.
Around with that one.
Yeah,
that's
I forgot about that.
Good one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's been so long since I've thought about arcades, which is like a real bummer of an idea. That I'm not even sure what I would. Because like last time I went to Dave & Buster's, a lot of it was like you have the Daytona ones, you have like the House of the Dead, you have the the Mario Kart ones, and then you kind of have the one half of it that's all kind of large scale mobile games, which is like
like the Fruit Ninja touchscreen
Fruit Ninja, and here's a Guitar Hero one, and like that stuff is fine, but that's not really
the anime naked lady word search game that you find at pubs.
Probably.
I mean,
that's just Steam now, by the way.
Or a lot of those golf games where it's just that giant ball in the center of it. You're just trying to.
Yeah, maybe having like a golden tee machine at home would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What's that that one from the Neo Geo? The golf game from Neo Geo that I always forget the name of. Maybe that's the one you get. Yeah, Turf Masters. Maybe you just get a Neo Geo. Like maybe that's what you go for, is just a Neo Geo and just a truckload of games.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, Feyroar in chat says DDR. I never got into DDR. That's a deep rabbit hole.
So I wasn't into it, and I absolutely despised it and hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends I met in college was a huge DDR person.
Right.
So we used to like take like 2-hour train journeys when the new machines dropped in towns around around us. And I started getting into it because of him. And it was like, okay, now I got the mechanics of it down. Now I can understand it easier. And very much like Guitar Hero and Rock Band is one of those things where you started, you're but then when you started understanding how to do it better, like, hey, guess what? Always hold on to that rail at the back, because that gives you the stability you need to do it.
It's there for a reason. Yeah.
Man, the Taiko Drum Master ones were pretty fun too. And you look at videos of people going insane on those machines.
Yep. Yeah.
Poppin' Fresh, I believe, was another one.
Poppin' Music, I think.
Poppin' Music, yeah. And, like, that was a super rare one that came out later in our lives. Like, that was post-college for me. But that's like 9 buttons in a row, and it's just a note feed that you have to hit the buttons to.
Tap. Yep. Yeah. Man. That's good. Good stuff. I loved arcades. R.I.P. So.
They still exist.
There's still Dave
&
&
Buster's. Vacation had one.
Yeah, I feel like Dave & Buster's like doesn't count for kind of what I'm thinking of, because it's like trying to do a lot. But thankfully, it's
dark-filled warehouse with cigarette smoke everywhere. And
that's right. Yeah, Vegas. But I feel like there are more small arcades popping back up of like, I'm a person in their 40s that just has a place that's a bar, and I have a bunch of well taken care of arcade machines, and I think that's cool.
Let's say, because I know, what is it, the Galloping Ghost in Chicago?
Yeah,
or
like
Illinois. I think it's South Chicago.
the
but
world's biggest arcade
yeah,
place. I'd love to go there.
I want to
someday.
go there because it's close, and two, I just want to go there, but I never have the time to drive out there.
Yeah,
the Strong Museum in Rochester as well. Like
yes, Strong Museum's
it's
another one.
the history of play. It's called the Museum of Play, I believe it's called.
Mhm.
That's all about games. It has a legitimate pinball section with about 25 to 30 pinball tables, all in pretty good condition.
Nice.
It's got all the classic video games. It's got a whole bunch of stuff there. Like the Strong Museum is a pretty incredible place. And like it's a good family day out. You can literally waste an entire day there. Also, fun fact: apparently there was a poppin' music that came out on the Wii.
I think, did I have a pop-in music that came out on PS2? No, it was the other one, the one with the keyboard. I don't remember what that was called. I also forgot about California Extreme, the one that they have once a year out here. Where's that?
Yep.
Santa Clara. That one's happened July of this year. I don't see anything for 2023 yet, but I'd like to go to all three of those places at some point, because those seem like the kind of the highlights of where you would want to go.
There's also locally here one that I completely forgot about that I'm going to go to at some point, the Pyramid Scheme, which is a barcade.
That's a really good name for it. 2 thumbs up.
That's pretty good. Is it Free Play Florida is the one that the Bamcast crew go to?
That sounds right. Yeah.
I was gonna say they're lucky because they get that massive pinball event that happens.
Yeah, that thing seems real cool.
And it looks like Free Play happens in November, by the way.
It's the perfect time to be in Florida.
Right.
You can have it any time of the year over there.
Yep. That's great. Thank you, Lato, for sending in your question. Appreciate it. And that's the end of our episode this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Discord server, which is where Lato asked this question. And you can hang out with us and the rest of the best community on the internet. And don't forget the patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers.
We talked about all the cool audio you get. We released a lot of audio every week. The $5 a month tier is the one that's recommended. It's not per week or per month. Not per week or per episode. It's per month. So you only pay like $5 a month for we put out like at least 15 episodes a month. I think it's a lot. We put out a lot of audio. Yeah. I have a problem. And I'm bringing you all down with me.
100 hours of content a month.
It's a lot. It's a lot of audio, man. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. The times, they do be tight. You can support us in other ways by telling your friends, sharing on social media, going to our YouTube channel, hanging out there, and liking and commenting and subscribing. You want to hit that bell too? Sure, why not? That apparently does something.
It's your boy.
That's right. It's your boy. But we do record video for everything we record audio of, even if we don't live stream it. So Critical Misses, We Rogue Like It, Game Club, all of that stuff is going to be on the YouTube channel as well, along with live stream archives like this one. So go check it out over there. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Boy.
Bye.
Oh, hey, Boston.
Oh,
I'm
hey.
curious, how much censorship is going to be on the video feed for the Game Club episode?
Quite a bit. For anyone listening, my daughter decided to pop up in the back of the episode for that. So there's a lot of
coloring didn't work for her.
Yeah, it did, but she needed things on my desk, so it was a lot of like a child's head popping up in the bottom corner. So earlier today I was Googling, mosaic blur effect Adobe Premiere how to. and was doing some of that earlier today. So
when I saw your message, I almost sent another message saying, "Good luck with that."
No, she did super well. It was just like she needed like a tissue at some point. She needed to go downstairs to get her Pokeball pencil eraser, and like told me so she wasn't just like she doesn't like leaving the room without telling someone. So she was just like, "Daddy, I need to go get this." I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So yeah, I'm gonna have to. We had a real conversation about because I was telling my wife that I'm gonna need to just like blur her out, and her reaction was, "Daddy, don't blur my face." And I was like, "Okay, you can't make the choice to be on the internet forever, so I'm going to blur your face.
Yeah.
Don't take that personally."
Oh
All right, Nimp, what are your titles?
I have Explosive Decompression.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch, my 2022. I Summoned a Desert Worm. Do It 50. No, Get Off My Zoo. Magicians Around the World Are Happy. Shut Up, Phil. Come On, Amazon Boy. And Marcus Demucus, or Demute, what? How did you say that?
Marcus Decimus Bunnius.
Decimus Bunnius, yeah.
Yeah, man. Moon, what about you?
One second, I have a cat attacking things behind me. Hey, that is a pin cushion, Louise!
No!
That is valuable!
No, it's just it's literally a cushion filled with pins.
You cannot eat pins.
Okay, I have hot. Just hot. Don't stand in front of the hole. Donate or euthanize. Don't laugh. Unlimited power. The last taste is free. An iconic cap. Sparkly vampire. Ellipses. Zombies. Sam Zipline. And unique and horrifying.
Sparkly vampire. ... Zombies. I have Let's Talk About Explosive Decompression. Ouch, my 2022. Mario Has a Gun and Sparkly Vampire ... Zombies. As Favor in chat says, the times do be tight and the ones do be numbers. That's right.
Correct.
You got it.
I
like Let's Talk About Explosive Decompression.
I like that and Marcus Decimus Bunnius because that is a great visual.
Mm-hmm. I think I like the explosive one better.
I'm
fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm circling it. Let me know when you're ready. Thinking about explosives. Moon is quickly opening Google to do some research. Got the play-by-play. I also see Nimp doing some research. We are nothing if not scientists, but not about explosions.
I have to do this because I'm from a different culture to you guys, so therefore problematic.
I wasn't gonna go there, but okay.
I mean, I guess.
I like the research that's going into this one. Deep in thought.
I've got one, but I'm jiggling it around in my brain to get it in an order that's funnier.
Okay. Jiggling those jokes.
Okay, I think I got one.
Yeah.
Nimp
is still deep in thought.
Yeah. It's like, no, can't say that. I don't want to explain that. That may be funny.
I feel like we don't always need to explain ourselves in the intro.
No, but I was thinking about getting in the nit and gritty of something, and I'm like, that That may be a little too much. And now my rabbit hole has led me to the 10 most gruesome and gory deaths of all time.
Okay. Good job, Internet.
Yep, let's close that window.
Yep.
All right. I've got something.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 782 for October 17th, 2022. Let's talk about explosive decompression.
Winners don't cut randomly.
Just don't stand in front of the hole and you should be okay.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh.